Commish, hey, thank you for letting us be here.
Great. Thank you for being here. We're just thrilled to have all of you. And I hope you have a good time while you're here. It's actually a great 4 days, and the best we have to offer in a lot of ways.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Getting a chance to meet your people, okay, and the three guys, Chuck. Oh, I don't want to get to name. I got last names and first names from the Zoom calls and the emails. I don't want to mess it up. There's been 3 lads from your team that have been here for like 30 years each that have taken care of us and made sure that we have a great time. So hospitable, which leads to this question. Feels like your guys' league, as internet people, was a league that didn't want to see the internet become a big baseball place. I only say that because cease and desist were happening. There wasn't a lot of videos being distributed. There wasn't a lot of interviews with players. It almost felt like the MLB did not want the internet to kind of do their thing. Then, over the last few years, it feels like, and this has had to be a decision that you have made and people that have been around here a long time, transition to maybe into the most open league whenever it comes to the internet and digital. Obviously signing John Boy, obviously with how welcoming you've been to us. What went into that decision, and do you believe, like we believe, that that is a great thing for the MLB?
Well, it absolutely is a great thing for Major League Baseball, 100%. Ironically, in the early years, we were very forward-thinking on internet delivery. MLB.TV was the first over-the-top product. The problem is we got into this thing where we thought we could drive everything to our platforms.
Got it.
Okay? So then when I became commissioner, I came up a different side of the business. Some of the people you were referring to came to me and said, we got this wrong. We're just in the wrong place. We're trying to drive everybody here. The right strategy is to make sure we are where the people are. You got to go where people are going. And that shift has been a really good thing for us, a really good thing.
We've enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah. We've enjoyed covering it. And obviously, you know this now because you guys have leaned into it and your crew has. It's like a lot of things are clips. Like our show is a clip show to some people where they just see clips.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it's just the clips. At least they're seeing our product. I like to see that you guys are doing the same thing with the MLB. Now, another question. The rules changes that have taken place. I talked to Bettman a little bit, and whenever they had the lockout, I think the NHL had the lockout, they changed the rules and made a different game coming out of the lockout.
Right.
They have obviously prospered since then. For you guys, it seems like you guys have tinkered with the rules, whether it's the pitch clock or it's some other things. No game is too long. Right. It feels like it's all consumable. Is that ongoing? Is
Yes.
that at a point where you figured it out? And when does the decision go to let's try to make our game more suitable for the modern times?
Well, look, when you get to the point that you think you have it figured out, you better retire because they need a different guy. I 100% got to tell you that.
We're always trying to fix this. Yeah, I got it. I respect it.
Look, we feel like we made a set of really fundamental changes. The institution of the clock, the elimination of the shift, the bigger bases. They were really 2 themes behind it. Number one, we listened to our fans. Our fans were saying the game's too long, there's not enough action, and we worked to address that. The second thing is all of the changes were directed at athleticism. When you can take your defenders and move them around wherever you want on the field, that player doesn't need to be as athletic as if he has to stay in position. And, you saw it last night in the draft. I had my little 7-year-old grandson was with me, sitting in the front row. He sits through like 24 picks. So I saw him this morning. He says, why did they only pick shortstops? I said, well, they pick shortstops because it's the best athlete, right?
Yeah.
And that's important. And we need to continue to look at the game, listen to what our fans are saying, and I'm not looking to discard the history and tradition. I am looking to make adjustments to make sure we stay relevant.
How long have you been with the MLB?
I came inside in 1998, and I was an outside lawyer for 10 years before that. I'm old.
Okay, so 37 years,
yeah,
roughly with the
with the league.
The league. First of all, thank you for your commitment to sport and commitment to league. I said that to a lot of people. I think the equipment manager for the AL is 49 years or something like that. Wow. And then the equipment manager for the NL is the Braves guy. I think it's like 30-some years. It's like everybody we've met has a lot of skin in the game here at the MLB for a long time. With that being said, I have to bring something up.
Okay.
Because I attacked you pretty good. When you get caught on a conversation by somebody recording here, you're over here, and you call it a piece of metal or whatever. Okay, listen, I thought you got screwed there because you're getting recorded whenever you don't know it. But do you think like that and other things have led to a stain about how people view you? Just strictly, let me tell you why. Me working with you and your people these last 2 weeks, you might have the greatest group around you out of all the leagues. Legitimately, you might have the greatest group around you. And obviously, you were the one in charge of them. But at that moment, it was hard not to just be like, what is this guy? Did you learn anything from that moment? And did that moment deep down piss you off? Because it's like, how am I getting outed by people that are supposed to be my team there?
Look, I think if you got one chance to turn the clock back and undo something, that would probably be the thing that I would undo. I did learn a couple of things from it. Number one, I'm a lawyer by training. You say things to defend a position. In this case, it was, what we had decided to do with respect to the Astros and that whole situation. You say things to defend your decision. And one of the things I've learned, at some point, you put your decision out there and let people think what they think, and you're better off.
Yeah.
You really are better off, because the guy who thinks you're wrong, the chances you're turning them around ain't
Never.
that good.
Yeah, especially in this world. Yeah.
Just not that good, And so, I really did learn something from it. I think it made me better at the job as time has gone on. But, one of the great things about this job is you learn something every day. You kind of – and I think one of the reasons that you've had a positive experience with the people that work in baseball is I do think as an organization, even though we have the reputation of history and tradition, I do think the organization looks at the game every day and says, what should we be doing to make sure we're better?
Well, I believe it. And just from what I've experienced, and I want to let you know, we were a part of that whole thing coming after you. I appreciate you addressing it, but I also appreciate you sitting in that batter's box, pun intended, and just continuing to go about it. Because you're in the fire, brother. You were in the fire. Ty Schmidt, lifelong fan, also an AL All-Star this year.
Yeah, absolutely. In respect to the salary cap debate, how likely do you think that will be in the next, I don't know, 10 years? Because I think as a Yankees fan, and we've talked about this a bunch, like, I know there will be a floor, so teams will have to spend to that, but I've never liked how, teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Mets will get punished because their owners are willing to go spend money, to bring talent in, where, these guys are from Pittsburgh, and it's like, we
miserable.
Know, yeah, exactly. They just, they're okay with not spending money and hoping that their farm system and the guys they draft will be good enough to kind of take them to the next level. So, just where do you see that going?
Yeah, so here's what I think about that. We begin on every issue by listening to our fans. I think it is undeniable. If you're denying it, you're not being honest, that we have fans in markets who believe they don't have a fair opportunity to
win.
Compete.
Yeah, that's one of them right there.
Yeah, and you can blame the owner or whatever. It's the system. It is the system that produces that. And at the end of the day, what we sell is competition. And so anything that undermines competition, which I believe the issue you're raising does, sooner or later we're going to have to come to grips with that issue, 100%. You know what? I'm looking at his jersey. I got to tell you, we did a custom one for you, Pat, just to show that we watch.
This is hilarious. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That is awesome.
We thought it would increase the likelihood you would wear it.
Yeah. So, hold on, though. To follow up on his question, and it's real. Like, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, we had the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've won multiple back-to-back Stanley Cups. Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, you might as well just. They've been season tickets for that like 30 years in holding. You know what I mean?
Premier.
So like the Pirates being a team. How many interviews you done with a shirtless man?
Not that many.
Yeah, not that many. Okay. Well, maybe this will be the last, or maybe this will be an annual tradition. But the
now that looks good.
Yeah,
yes, it does.
I mean that really looks
feels
good.
pretty good too. I should
custom ham on that.
We're breaking chains. On this thing. Yeah, hey, thank you, boss. I appreciate you. When I grew up in Pittsburgh, though, I wasn't the biggest baseball fan strictly because I wasn't a Pirates fan.
Right.
And the reason why I wasn't a Pirates fan is because the Pirates were just a team that you go down to the ballpark and have a good time.
Right.
You never expected them to actually win. And it's like, I think at this stage, especially with the sell the team chance and everything, you say it's the system's fault. It's like, it'd be good for the league for every team to be competitive, right? Is that what your selling is whenever it's like we're trying to get that?
100%.
For the good of the game, brother. Because I think I would have been a good baseball fan and probably player.
Would have been a good player.
But just stayed away from it strictly because my dad was like, nope, we're not doing it, and we're not getting into it because of the Pirates experience. Not saying it's just the Pirates. There's other teams that feel this way as well.
100%.
But it's good for the sport, I think, right?
Oh, you're right on the money, Pat. I mean, exactly right. The fact of the matter is, Pittsburgh's a great sports town.
Great.
It is a great sports town. There are tons and tons of really passionate Pirates fans who remember when the Pirates were a great team year in, year out. And they just want to look at the system and say, we got a fair chance to win when you're sitting around in February looking at, spring training and what the year's going to be like. And we need to deal with that issue.
Okay, well, we appreciate you. We assume you will for the good of all Yinzers. Now, speaking of the Pirates, we got the guy.
Yeah.
We got the starting pitcher. Okay, Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens, we love him. He played for the Indians in Indianapolis. Obviously, we watched his run in Omaha with LSU. He's been very cool to us. We're very appreciative of him. I saw him miss a football throw for $1 million at my big night out. He told me he slept soundly because I didn't have to give away another $1 million.
Yeah.
So I like the cut of his jib. But it's not just Paul. I see, obviously, there's an entire slew of international media right now. I assume that's Japanese media, but I don't want to get too I think that's Japanese media over there.
Sure.
Lined up around Shohei.
Right.
Aaron Judge is hitting absolute bombs. You got Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh playing great. Feels like your stars are all playing great. How good is that for the MLB and sports as a whole?
Look, we feel like we have great momentum right now.
Yes.
The rule changes helped. We're 3 years into them. They appear to be durable. When you make a change, you want it to last, right?
Yes.
They appear to be durable, but you throw on top of that the influx of talent that we've had into the game. Paul Skeens is a great example. I mean, nobody, really knows about him, and then all of a sudden in 1 year he's the guy. I mean, Aaron Judge, Shohei,
Scooble too. Sorry.
I mean, another great example. And I'll tell you, you think it's crazy here. Our opener in Japan.
That was fun to watch, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, it was unbelievable. unbelievable.
You guys are you guys are selling ads to Japanese companies?
Oh yeah, our Japanese business. We had a reception before Game 1. And it was our sponsorship group. So I thought, I'm going to this party. I'm going to see the usual suspects, our American sponsors. 25 Japanese companies. Completely separate slate of companies. And, our individual teams have taken advantage of it. The Dodgers, clearly, and, the Cubs went with the Dodgers in that trip. And it was great for their business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friend of the program.
That's true. And it's important to say that it's not just one guy.
Yes, agreed.
Exactly. It's a group of guys that have come here and made a difference. We're lucky. We got great players. We got some of our very best in big markets. And as a result, our attendance and our ratings are really good.
Commissioners always hated by their crew. Bettman even had the best year that they've had. He got his ass booed at the draft. Roger Goodell, I think he's having a little bit of a babyface turn. Still got to go out there with firefighters and the military. Still got to do that. How do you handle that as a human? Because you have to make decisions, and you have to be the face of decisions, and people are going to hate it. Everybody will say you get paid well. Obviously, but you're still a human in there. You're a lawyer, but I assume you're a human in there.
I haven't practiced in a really long time. I'll tell you, anybody who tells you it doesn't bother them is lying to you, okay? I mean, just 100%. Nobody likes getting booed. But, you do learn to manage it. I mean, even last night during the draft, you come out, you try to smile at the people that are booing.
Yeah, they're going to boo your ass.
They're going to boo no matter what. You come out, you smile, and you go on. I do think that the biggest thing to think about is to convince the majority of the fans that you care about what you're putting out there in front of them for us, 186 days,
so
over
many games.
162 game season.
So many.
It's unbelievable. Debo has a question.
Yeah, what's the biggest, I guess, common misconception on the commissioner's job, what you guys do? And then I guess the second part of that question, we talk about the new rules and speeding up the game. Is there any old school MLB rules you'll bring back?
Yeah, maybe like a boxing glove for when they want to fight.
yeah,
More fighting.
You know, I have to tell you, your second question may be the hardest question anybody's asked me in a really long time. You know, and I'll tell you why. We are really forward focused. And having said that, all of the rule changes that we put in 3 years ago, our kind of theme internally is let's put back out there the best form of baseball, right? Let's bring back the stolen base. Let's bring back the athletic middle infielders. Let's bring back the ball in play, not just relying on a home run. So in a really kind of weird way, we were looking backwards too. You know, we wanted to get back to our best. I think the piece of the commissioner's job that people completely ignore is the internal piece, and it gets back to what Pat was talking about with our organization. You know, people focus, there's the guy, you know, he's running the sport. The fact of the matter is our sport gets run by 1,200 hardworking people that are in that office in New York every single day, and it's really hard to get it right. Everybody thinks, you know, oh, God, everyone wants to work in a sport, baseball, football, whatever your sport is.
Absolutely.
But it's harder than you think to get your organization right.
Well, your culture is seemingly great from everybody that we have met. So congratulations on that. Not easy as a leader. I know you want to defer to other people, but there's somebody that has to guide the culture. You're doing a great job, I think. Tone, Pittsburgh Pirates fan, loves your league, has a question for you.
Yes, I do. Yeah, you talked about forward thinking. The robot umpires, the auto strike zone, which is going to be used tomorrow night, I believe, is probably some of the most forward-thinking thing that's come across. Obviously, umpires in the strike zone changing every game, like it's something that's just been a part of baseball forever. Where are we at on that? And do you think that would be the most forward-thinking rule that you guys have done?
Yeah, look. I'm going to object to one piece of your question.
Sure.
I never call the automated strike zone system robot umpires, because one of the things we really do want to preserve is the role of the umpire in the game. And, you know, the way the system is designed, he gets the call, he makes the call just like he does today. That's his role. You know, that's what he's doing out there. Number one. Number two, technology off the charts good. I mean, we started 10 years ago. You know, it was 2 inches that it was the margin of error. Now it's like 1/100 of an inch. I mean, it's unbelievably good. And so here's the funny thing. You know, I have we're not going to get into exactly what it is, but I do have a transparent email, and it's on purpose. I like to hear from people figure it out, just regular fans.
No.
And I do. Now, there's filters for bad words. I want to kill you does not get through. You know,
I wish I had that filter on my mentions.
But here's the thing. You know, we put it out there in spring training. You know, obviously a lot of people go to spring training. It's a really great time of the year for us. So this year, the emails about bad balls and strike calls have gone like this, up crazy, because they've now seen you can do it better. And the sort of theme of the emails is, what the hell are you waiting for? You got it. You know, you ought to go.
And then there's this too, right? The reviews, challenges, which is not in regular season yet, right?
No. Yeah, right. We're gonna use it tonight. It's been used in the minor leagues for several years, and we tested it with big league guys in spring training last year. We're in a process directed at bringing it to the big leagues next year. The great thing about it that we didn't fully understand, you know, the rendition on the board afterwards is like a fan-friendly.
Yeah, like tennis. Yeah, the Hawkeye technology where it's coming in.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's weird. I was actually out at the U.S. Open, and, you know, I played a lot of competitive tennis up through college. And
really? You checked the watch?
Yeah. I quit a long time ago, but I did play. Anyways, I'm out at the Open, and all of a sudden I realized there's no linesman. There's no linesman, but what had misled me is they're still showing the rendition up on the board, and, you know, it made me realize there is entertainment value in that rendition that we need to take advantage of.
Well, there's also skepticism if you ask the tennis players. I mean, that was the first thing that we asked, because in our league, the NFL, we've had to go through a lot of technology. And I think what you're going to experience over the next couple of years is the same thing the NFL experienced at the beginning of it all. The umps are not just going to casually just disappear. Okay, the refs for the NFL had a lot of pride in the calls that they were making in the field, so the technology thing was almost a pushback from the refs until it was so to them like, hey, they're here to help you. Because I think I saw a guy casually go like this, and the ump was like, get your ass the hell out of here. And that's because the ump is like, oh, you think you're going to show me up? Yeah. So we had that with the NFL refs for a bit until they got to the point of like just acknowledging it was going to happen and understanding that it's there to help them as opposed to hurt them. Good luck to you trying to sell all the umpires on that, especially because you guys got like umps that are like legendary.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll tell you about that. That's actually kind of interesting. We had exactly that dynamic when we first went to instant replay. We don't want it. We want no.
Because they think you're showing them up.
Yeah. What flipped them? The media. They got tired of seeing themselves being shown up, on ESPN and wherever. So they flipped on replay. We actually have the right with our umpires union to deploy the automated strike zone system, and they were really forward thinking about it this time around. They really were good about it.
It helps them. Yeah. That's like the NFL refs. I think had to, and I don't think all of them are on board just yet still, but I think for them it was just pointing out like, hey, instead of getting your family threatened afterwards, can we not just correct this in like 2 minutes or 2 seconds and move forward? Connor has a question for you, Commish.
Yeah, Commish, something you guys were kind of ahead of, it feels like, was the streaming. With Apple TV, you guys were one of the first to kind of be on a streaming service full time, basically throughout an entire season. I know how important local markets is to baseball when it comes to TV. Right. How are you navigating that kind of situation, especially now as the NFL gets into it in other places?
And are you guys up right now?
I'm sorry?
Are your rights deals up right now?
No, we're not up until after the 29 season.
Got it.
Okay. So. Excuse me, I said 29, 28. 29 will be the beginning of our new deals.
Got it. It's right around the corner.
So, look, I think the most important thing to say is, the media environment right now is really kind of disrupted, particularly at the local level. It's hardest for us because we're the most local dependent in the RSN model. I think our goal is twofold. Number one, we want to sell more games nationally. Okay, we think it's good for our exposure, more broadcast exposure, big game exposure. We also believe that the buyers that are out there are going to be national buyers, particularly the streaming companies. They don't want to buy the state of Wisconsin, with all due respect.
We love Wisconsin.
Yeah, we do. And 2 counties in Michigan, which is what the Brewers have to sell. Right. You got to sell more nationally. Secondly, we need to streamline our offering. We need to get out of the blackout business. I mean, here's a great one for you. We took over the Padres local broadcast a couple years ago because of the bankruptcy that had occurred. Within 2 weeks, we lit up MLB.TV, which is an outer market product. We lit it up in market in San Diego. We sold 20,000 subscriptions in the middle of the season. What's that tell you? There were 20,000 people in San Diego wanted to watch games, were willing to pay for it, and we were telling them, sorry, can't help you. So we are too many places right now. We've experimented. Apple's been a great experiment, but we do have a lot of fragmentation. We need to get into a more streamlined model where a fan knows Friday, I want to see my game tonight. Either they go to a digital service, they know the game's there. If it's not there, it's going to be one of a couple of national games, and it's easy for the fan. That's what it needs to look
by
like.
2029, all the fans are going to be sophisticated enough with everything.
Bingo.
And are you watching all the other leagues? Do you guys talk to each other? Do you have a commissioner's group text?
I had dinner with all 4 of them. We don't have a group text that we use regularly. I had dinner with all 4 of them last week in Sun Valley. I've known Roger the longest. We actually belong to the same golf club years before either of us were commissioners.
Wow.
Which golf club?
That's sweet.
A place in New York. We don't need to do that.
We're just trying to get in there.
Adam, we've had a great relationship. He's great he came to the World Series last year, as did Roger, actually. And, I went to the Super Bowl. I went to part of the NBA playoffs. Really nice back and forth. And Gary and I actually went to the same undergraduate school. So I've been doing panels channels with Commissioner Bettman for a really long time, and he will occasionally remind me that he's been commissioner longer than I have.
Yeah, I can imagine holding that over your head for a little bit. That's a great group of people to be friends with each other, because for us as sports fans, we appreciate the fact for everything you guys do for us year-round, and we appreciate what baseball has done for us, not only like these last couple weeks, but until we're done, I think. I think it's going to become a new summer thing for us, and I'm learning about the game. So I'm like a child that doesn't really know much about the game. Can throw it, can catch it a little bit, can make contact if I have to. Love Paul Skeens, love Shohei, love Aaron Judge.
Dumper.
Love Big Dumper.
Yeah.
Love the
Love
trumpets
that.
guy, and I love the home run derby. So, like, I'm an eager new fan. And I think the way you guys have handled it has been fantastic. You should be very proud of yourself.
Well, thank you. And look, we're happy, really happy to have you here. I can't tell you, it's part of where we started your first question. We want to go where people go, and I know people are listening and watching you all the time.
Unbelievable that people watch our show. It's so outrageous. Well, Commish, how do you think tonight goes?
I think it's going to be really exciting. It's just for our fans, it's a different kind of product, right? It's kind of made for the one-off event. Let's get some excitement. You get a view of the players that's different. You'll see out on the field, very casual, the guys that are not participating. So it's going to be a really fun evening.
Man, we appreciate the hell out of you. What's that, Connor?
I mean, it'll be a really fun evening if we just juice the balls. Okay, come on.
Yeah, that is a question.
Why don't we just do that?
What's going on with the balls? Why are the balls always a question? So, just quick follow-up. Obviously, Big Dumper's not feeling the effects.
No.
Neither is Aaron or Shohei. There's some guys. But then there's other guys maybe that don't have as much power that are saying the balls are different. Is that a constant conversation in baseball, the balls? Because I remember a few years back they were juice, allegedly.
Yeah, we did have 4 or 5 years ago a statistically significant performance of the baseball. We undertook a whole program directed at one thing, consistency. At the end of the day, you have to remember our product, unlike anything else in professional sports, it's handmade. The sewing and everything is different. So, like the issue that people were talking about this year, the seams are a statistically insignificant amount higher, but that's just kind of how the sewing went this year. You're not going to fix that.
Yeah, well, we're hoping tonight we got little baby seams. These balls are flying.
Big bats.
We appreciate
Metal
you so
bats.
much. Hopefully it's the first of many times we get a chance to chat with you. Congratulations on everything you've been through with the MLB. And
thank you.
Thank you for the hospitality.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to
And
be
great
with all
jersey
you guys.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great
Smart
jersey.
play.
All right, great.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of MLB, Rob Manfred.
Yay, Commish!
Thanks, guys. Thank you. That was really fun.
Yeah, hey, we're still live.
Great job.
So, if you don't want to bury anything, don't say anything's a piece of metal. I'm joking.